Oh, God.
I don't know why we don't have any support. I don't know why people don't like my cabinet. We have silent support. I think I like that better. Like, he's so full of crap.
Anyway, yeah, we're going to talk about today, like, Trump's big mad because, his cabinet doesn't have support. And I wonder why that is. I mean, again, as someone who voted for Trump twice now, we're going to go through what he ran on, and then we're going to go through a State of the Union speech tonight, right? We're going to go through, did Trump do the things that he said he was going to do? And when he sits there and whines like a girl with a skinned knee, he fucking doesn't understand that we voted for this guy to do a thing, and now that he's in office, rather than doing the thing that his voters voted or asked him to do, he's trying to be a populist, right? Or he's trying to open up the tent, right, for the Republican Party or whatever the hell it is that he's trying to do, and he's alienating a massive amount of people right now. And the other thing that's constraining Trump is that he will not defy his voter base, right, which are boomers. And unfortunately, that doesn't help the generation that's going to run behind them, right? It doesn't help my generation. It doesn't help the millennials. It doesn't help Gen Z. And he refuses to accept that he needs those voters. The people that are going to come after Trump need those voters. And if he just alienates them and continues to not do the things that he said he was going to do to appease the boomer class, right, then he's going to lose in spectacular fashion, right? So that's what we're talking about today. I got a whole bunch of notes on exactly what Trump has, what he ran on, and then what he has done right, what he's done wrong, so on and so forth. We'll kind of go through those things. So if you're in the discussion, we're going to bat that topic around and let me know what has Trump done well on, because again, I voted for this guy to do a lot of things. I had high hopes for Trump, and he's just fallen all over himself. His cabinet's fallen over himself. They've got the clusterfuck of the Epstein things going on, and the guy he's in a lot of trouble, and he needs to right this ship. And it's very easy to do, but the optics of the things that he has to do will keep him from doing it, So let's go to that day. My name's Eric Wilk, and I own the Resplendent Crow here in St. Louis, Missouri. We are a fine furniture boutique company, and we got about 8 employees. We do about, 7 figures in revenue. It's a great little small mom and pop business, and we've been doing it here in St. Louis for about 10 years now. So we are a successful business by the fact that we've been able to stay in business for 10 years. Very difficult to keep a business going. 80% of businesses fail after year 5. And if you can make that 10-year mark, you get this thing called the Lindy effect, right? Which basically means you become a name within your industry, whether locally, regionally, or nationally. And that's kind of what we have. So we got a decent name in the furniture and high gloss lacquer space. And that's why I've been able to keep this thing going. And anyway, that's where I'm coming from when we talk about Donald Trump today, when we talk about these issues. We guys watch this channel to get a normie's perspective, a dude who's just, again, didn't graduate high school, but found a way to get a business going, found a way to make a really cool product, and I hope I can convey some interesting thoughts to you guys as we do this discussion. So let's get on with it, okay? So Trump's crying about his cabinet, right? People don't support his cabinet, right? So we got to figure out, well, who are these people, and why doesn't anyone support them? So let's go through them real quick, because I think it's very obvious. Again, I don't know if Trump's just in a bubble. I don't know what the hell is going on with this guy, but if he does not right this ship, he is going to go down in flames as one of the worst, most ineffective presidents we've had in the modern era, which sucks, man. So anyway, first comment in here today, we got ZXQE49283. Howdy. Good to see you. Glad you guys are here this morning. All right, let's go. So who's Trump's cabinet? Okay, good. J.D. Vance, right? The most vanilla vice president I think I've ever seen in my entire life. He's essentially, what I call him is the Manchurian Candidate, right? Have you guys ever seen the Manchurian Candidate with Denzel Washington and I believe it's Liev Schreiber? Basically, you have a groomed guy who has a perfect backstory, right? Comes from Appalachia, served in the Marines, right? Then goes to Yale, then makes money as a hedge fund guy with Peter Thiel, and now he's a senator, and now he's vice president, right? It's like he's going to be the heir apparent to Donald Trump, and so people don't trust this guy. Again, he has no strong opinions about anything. He's literally vanilla pudding, and I don't like that, And again, as someone who lived in Georgia, like I've been in the Appalachian Mountains, like I love it up there. It's beautiful, but I don't think that this guy's story is that compelling. His story is literally put together to get in office, and it's too bad, And again, if we think about people like Peter Thiel, Mark Andreessen, who's the guy, David Sachs, that's in the Trump administration right now, like these guys literally represent what's called the technocracy. They want to bring about essentially transhumanism. They want to bring about robots and machines and all these kind of things, and they want to be the overlords. Now, if we look at Trump's policies, you're going to see that Trump is supporting everything to bring about this thing called the technocracy, and I'll talk about that when we talk about power generation and we talk about things like affordability, which Trump is going to talk about in his State of the Union speech. And we need to ask the honest question: has Trump delivered on anything that he's ran on, right? Because honestly, the guy's delivered on about half of what he ran on, which is okay. The problem is it the half you guys want, or is it the half you guys don't want? So, if you're in the stream, again, give me a few minutes, guys. I'm going to go through my little spiel here, and then we'll get into comments. So if you're in the stream, guys, hit the like button, add the discussion, subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of content. It really helps to kick the algorithm around. And all right, cool, man. We got a gift in here. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the gifts. Like I said, I'm still learning how to interact with people when they give gifts and super chats and all that kind of stuff. I'm slow, but I am figuring it out. We have an updated camera coming in, so we're actually going to the camera today. Guess this is hilarious. I was joking. Sorry, guys. Sidebar. So my wife's supposed to go camera shopping with me, so we can put on a better kind of show here. And we're going to the camera store, and then she said that she needs to go, to go for undergarment shopping. So we get to go to Victoria's Secrets, man. I get to go to cameras and panties, man. Cameras and panties. It's going to be a good day. So anyway, so JD Vance, not really the greatest, vice president I've ever seen, kind of vanilla pudding. So it's other guy, we got Marco Rubio here, okay? Marco Rubio has been, I believe, a senator for a long time, and he's in Florida, right? Again, a lot of Trump's people in his orbit are around Florida, right? So that's cool. That's a great thing. But the guy's kind of a war hawk, right? A little bit of got that neocon-y kind of vibe. And again, this is what you're going to hear me say a lot is there's a lot of this boomer class going on. And again, nothing wrong with the boomers. I love what the boomers did for us. They're great people. My parents are boomers. I got nothing against boomers. But what I do not like, and what I think we're seeing as a group here, especially on YouTube, is that this group of boomers has set the government up, has set up foreign policy, has set everything up to help them until they die. Right? We're going to pay for them literally until they die, and then there's nothing left. And that's what we're kind of worried about. And these boomers aren't willing to accept the fact that the world that they've created is going to make it infinitely harder for the people to come after them. And that's not good. It's not good for, like I said, my generation, Gen X. It's not good for Gen Z. It's not good for the millennials, any of these people. And so I don't think they see what they're doing and the world that they're creating. They're not leaving a good place for the people that have to come after them, right? I think the saying is a lot of people, they create a world for which they don't, when they plant trees, they don't have to set beneath them, right? So it's a very famous quote. But yeah, they're not looking at what comes behind them. They're just worried about themselves, and I don't think that that's good. So, okay, who else we got here? We got Scott Bessent here. Okay, Scott Bessent, I think, is probably the most qualified Secretary of the Treasury they've ever had. The guy has great instincts. He has great policies. I think he's doing a fantastic job. But he's surrounded by a bunch of fucking idiots. Like, he's surrounded by a bunch of neocon people. Like, Scott Bessent is all business. He just wants to make America grow. He wants to make America dominant. He understands the stock market. He understands capital markets. He understands literally how the world economy works, I think, in a way that I've never seen before. Like, that's the fucking guy I want to be president. I'm being completely honest. Like, I've got a lot of faith in that guy. But again, he's kind of surrounded by idiots, which is too bad. So we got this Secretary of Defense, right? Pete Hegseth. I love Pete Hegseth. I love the idea of leading from the front, and we haven't had a Secretary of Defense that has done that in my lifetime. It's always some fat fuck that graduated from West Point who loves to give speeches and looks nothing like the people that they are ordering. It's amazing that we have somebody at the head of our military that looks like someone that would be in our military, right? He doesn't let himself go. He hasn't become a fat fuck. He hasn't become someone that just, rests on his laurels and talks about, oh, back when I served. No, the fucking guy gets out there. He runs PT with the troops. He does push-ups. He does pull-ups. He's hanging out with Robert Kennedy Jr., which we're going to talk about next, right? Not next. We're going to talk about Robert Kennedy as we go down our list. Again, fantastic guy. Again, maybe not the most smartest strategy guy. I have no idea. But from what I see so far, the guy isn't any worse than anybody, and he is a fantastic representation of what we want in the average American as far as his physicality and as far as his attitude, okay? One of the things I wrote down in my notes is America needs heroes again, okay? We don't have a lot of heroes. You might say, well, Pete Hegseth's not a hero. He's this, he's that. He's like, yeah, but he looks like a man, right? He looks like what we would want our sons to look like, what we would want our husbands to look like, what we would want our fathers to look like. He looks like somebody who is at least representative of a fucking person that takes care of themselves and respects themselves, right? And so I like that. I like that idea about him. Okay, we got Attorney General Pam Bondi next, right? This bitch is fucked. Like, she is the worst example of an attorney general I've ever seen. I don't know about you guys, but she is literally covering up pedophiles, okay? She is covering up essentially a ring of blackmail and honeypotting, and she doesn't want to let that stuff out there. Remember she gave the binders to all the social influencers and made them all look like complete dumbasses. You know, so she's horrible. Like, again, I don't think Pam Bondi's done anything that I can think of note that has been good for the American people, right? She started out saying she was going to do something, and she hasn't followed through on anything. And again, remember that when she was in front of Congress and she's talking about, they're wanting to talk about the Epstein files, and she's like, look at the economy. Look how great the economy is. She literally was sounding like Trump with tits. Like, she's, look at the 401ks, the economy's doing amazing. And everyone's like, yeah, what about child fuckers, you know? And she's like, well, but what about the 401ks? You know, it's very weird listening to her and seeing her act the way that she was acting. It was literally like Trump was there. So I don't know if, like, her and Trump had a discussion before she got into that hearing. But again, I'm not seeing anything from this woman that really excites me, you know? And again, as the top attorney for America, what is she doing? You know, is she pushing Trump's agenda forward? Because what she's doing is not what I voted for, right? So, and again, we'll get into Trump's, what he ran on and what he's going to talk about the State of the Union, and we'll talk about exactly where he's succeeded and where he's failed. So we got her. She's the top one. We got Doug Bergman, of the Secretary of Interior. I don't know much about him. Apparently he was the governor of, like, South Dakota or something like that. Brooke Rollins, don't know much about him. We got Howard Lutnick. Okay, Howard Lutnick, all over the Epstein files, right? Again, this guy's a complete piece of shit. Doesn't matter what he's doing in his job. He can't escape the stink of the Epstein files. Every time you see this guy, he has to answer for the Epstein files, right? And again, he doesn't care. He has zero interest in talking about it. He has zero interest in being held accountable for his association with Epstein. Again, he lied about it. The third world, right, I should say third world, but we'll just say Europe. Europe is atoning for all of their Epstein connections, and this fucking guy is acting like it didn't exist. Like, no big deal. Apparently he bought Epstein's home, which is right next to his in, the Bahamas. He bought it for like $10, which again, kind of weird. He was in business with Epstein. He lied to the American people about his association with Epstein after Epstein was convicted as essentially a child trafficker. So this guy has no morals, no scruples, his zero integrity, and worst of all, no character, right? So he refuses to fall on a sword, and that guy's a piece of shit. So again, Trump's wondering, I don't know why people don't like my cabinet. Like, yeah, your cabinet's full of fucking neocons and liars. Like, you can't have that in America. Like, we expected better. At least I did. And so we're not getting that. We got the Secretary of Labor, this Lori Chavez Demir. I've never heard about her. Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy, okay? What Trump did that was really cool when he was running for president is that he brought people in from outside his, neocon Republican camp, which I thought was really cool. Now, say what you will about this Robert Kennedy guy. I don't know a ton about him, but I do know that, again, going back to the Pete Hegseth characterization that I went through, Robert F. Kennedy is a fantastic example of a human, right? And you don't have to necessarily like his anti-vax, anti-this, anti-that. The guy looks like fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he is 72 years old. And people will diminish him and say, oh, he's taking growth hormone, he's taking HGH, he's taking testosterone, blah, 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 blah. It's like, yeah, and he looks like a fucking superhero, okay? Like, I'm okay with that. I'm okay if he wants to go out there and promote health by doing fucking gobs of push-ups and bench pressing cars and shit. I don't care. The guy is a fucking hero in that regard, and he looks like we would want Americans to look, and I'm okay with that, okay? It doesn't mean that he has to have all the right ideas, and he has to have all the perfect things you guys want him to have. The fucking guy does the work, right? And I think we need more promotion of, hey, stop being a fucking lazy piece of shit. Let's get to fucking work. Let's go run some miles. Let's do some push-ups. Let's do some sprints. Let's do something other than look on our phone, hang out on the computer, watch fucking Netflix, watch the 10th season of fucking Yellowstone and Landman. Like, let's go do some fucking work, okay? These guys do that, and they show that you could do it into your 50s and into your 70s. And again, say what you will about these guys, they do the work. I haven't seen that in a government since Arnold Schwarzenegger was the fucking health guy during Bush's term. He'd get out there and he'd show people how to do arm curls, and he'd show people how to do jumping jacks. You guys remember this shit? I mean, it's fucking amazing. That guy's literally a fucking hero, and now we've got two guys that are at least talking about what America really needs instead of saying, I want health care. I need universal health care so that I can be a fat, lazy piece of shit forever, and the government will pay for it, okay? That's literally what's going on. So when these guys go out there and do that stuff, I really appreciate it, So again, guys, I'm almost done. Let's go through the cabinet. I'll run through comments, and then we're going to go through State of the Union, and we're going to talk about where Trump has succeeded, where he's failed, because, man, like I said, it's a total mixed bag. Okay, a couple more people, then we're done. So, again, Robert F. Kennedy, One of his big things is he wanted to push this getting rid of dyes in foods, which he pushed, and Trump touted, and the media ran with it. It was a fantastic thing. That got killed. Shocker, right? It completely got destroyed. So again, no dyes are going to be taken out of foods. Again, that's something they do have in Europe. We can't seem to get that done here in America. Everyone hates this guy's a vaccine skeptic. They hate that he is skeptical of the science community. And again, science and academia fucking hate this guy, and I love it because I'm hyper skeptical of academia. I've seen too many people in my life. Academia has fucked their heads up so bad. They're afraid to have kids because of climate change. You know, they wear masks to this day because they're terrified that COVID's going to come back around. I mean, it really warps people's brains. You know, they don't want to have cheap energy. They don't want to have, you know, power that would help you guys have a better life by having less energy prices, whether it's natural gas, electricity, gasoline. They don't want any of that shit. They just want to live in a world of windmills and fucking solar panels. And again, that doesn't work. They don't live in reality. So I think this guy Robert F. Kennedy is a pretty good guy for the most part. You might not like his policies, you might not like what he stands for, but again, the image that this guy creates for Americans, has the hero mentality. He has the hero complex. He looks like a hero, and at this point in my life, I'm okay with that. So, all right, other people we got in here, we got Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy. Again, this guy's kind of vanilla pudding. He hasn't done a ton as it pertains to the highway system, as it pertains to the FAA. I mean, we got fucking planes falling out of the sky. So I don't know. This guy's been very successful. Chris Wright is our Secretary of Energy. He's done fuck all. Okay, Chris Wright has done nothing. Who we got a gift in here from Polka? Is that Polka that I saw? So this is a Polka AXOYT sent a gift. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, guys. Very cool. Anyway, Chris Wright, done fuck all. Again, I'll go through this in a minute. And Polka sends more gifts. I appreciate it. It's awesome. If you guys like this content, hit the like button, add discussion. Again, real person, have real conversations about real issues. And again, small business owner, been doing it for 10 years. And I think I got a pretty good idea of how the economy works for the most part. I also know how tariffs actually work, how importing works, because I'm an importer, right? So I could talk about that. I talk about it all the time. We got Secretary of Veteran Affairs, Doug Collins. Again, done fuck all. We can talk about veterans. That situation has not gotten better. Secretary of Education, Linda McMahon. They are gutting the Department of Education. So Linda McMahon, who is the wife of CEO Vince McMahon, WWF Wrestling, WWE Wrestling, whatever it's called. I grew up with that shit. I loved it. Again, she's doing great things because she is reducing the size of that government. So again, whatever policies this woman has, they basically gutted that entire department. That's what needs to happen for most departments in our federal government. Let the states handle these things. The federal government steals your guys' money. You are all paying 22.5% in income taxes and payroll taxes into the federal government, for which you are getting minimal benefit. It helps you almost nothing. That money would be much better in your hands than it would be in the federal government's hands. And again, I say this all the time. It doesn't matter who you guys vote for, whether you vote for Trump, you vote for Kamala, you vote for Biden, you vote for, whatever, Bush, Clinton, Obama, whatever. You guys it's just a seesaw, guys. Like, you get a little bit of tax cuts, you pay a little bit more in taxes. You get a little bit of foreign policy. Well, I shouldn't say foreign policy, but you get a little bit, in the education, you get a little bit out. You get a little bit of healthcare, you get a little bit of healthcare out. It's a fucking seesaw, guys. And you guys, the only thing that's constant is you guys continue to pay taxes, right? You can continue to pay your taxes into the federal government. They continue to print money, because they're trying to buy your guys' vote. And they send fucking shit tons of aid and military equipment to the third world, which is what they really want, guys. Like, the only thing that's constant is taxes and foreign military aid and weapons, okay? So anyway, those are the kind of the important people in Trump's cabinet. Again, these guys aren't doing a lot of great stuff, right? And the people that you should like, people like this Pete Hegseth and this Robert Kennedy, they completely dismiss them because, one's a vaccine skeptic and one isn't a fat fuck with a shit ton of pins all over his uniform, right? He doesn't fit the mold of what people think a Secretary of Defense should be and what a Secretary of the Department of Human Services, right? They loved having these fucking weirdos in the in the Department of Health and Human Services, these fucking transgender weirdos, the same people in the military. You got these fucking women that want to be men and men that want to be women. Like I said, I'm not fucking okay with that. And again, Trump got elected to curb that shit, and he's done it in spectacular fashion. So I'll give him that. Okay, let's go through comments, and then we're going to talk about State of the Union. We're going to talk about what Trump succeeded in and what he's failed in, because I think there's a lot to talk about there. So again, I got my cup of coffee. I'm drinking Pete's coffee this morning. You guys want good coffee? Go get, it's called Major Dickinson's Blend. Amazing coffee. Again, if you guys drink Pete's, hit the like button. Let me know. Okay, here we go. Let's go through comments, guys. Sorry, guys. I know I'm way behind, but I got a long kind of intro there. Let's get caught up, and we'll dig into the State of the Union. So, all right, Hamilton, is this, Hamel Seidel says TDS. Yeah, again, I don't think I got TDS. Let's see. Okay, you're saying that JD is based. Cool, man. Okay, we'll talk more about that. Again, put in the comments. Tell me what you guys like about JD Vance. I think the guy is literally the definition of the Manchurian candidate. I've never seen someone that's so vanilla pudding in my life. So, all right. See, this is Hamilton. So I guess it's supposed to be Stevie. It says, Jackass, how does it feel being outed as a degenerate? Okay, I don't know that I'm a degenerate. Again, hyper uneducated, but somehow I figured it out, man. Everyone's bitching about not being able to make money and the economy is shit and the cost of living's too high. Like, I don't give a fuck about any of that. I'm doing just fine. So again, I don't know what you're talking about there, dude. Okay, let's see. Do you seriously buy the Peter Thiel side? Yeah. Again, that's a fair question. I like what you said there about the Peter Thiel slap. Okay, you do call it a slap, but can you deny that JD Vance's rise to where he is literally because Peter Thiel discovered him, brought him into his business, right? Taught him how the capital investing works, and then sent him off into government. Like, you can't deny that connection does exist. Now, you can say whatever you want about it, but you can't deny that it exists, right? J.D. Vance would not be anywhere without Peter Thiel essentially snatching him out of Yale, okay? So I find it to be, of all the people that Peter Thiel has brought into his orbit, J.D. Vance is the one guy. Again, he fits the profile, right? And again, when you fit the profile, great things can happen, And I don't think J.D. Vance is spectacular at anything. He's got a great story. I mean, if you guys have read the book Hillbilly Elegy, or you've watched there was a great Netflix movie, I believe it's Netflix. But again, fantastic story. And again, his story is my story, right? His story is your story, right? We all grew up with fucked up homes. Like, that was literally part of Gen X. Like, we all had broken homes. We all had, mom in the house, dad gone, fucking crazy fucking grandparents. I mean, we all grew up fucking poor. I grew up in a double-wide trailer. I don't know what you guys grew up in, but again, I grew up in the middle of fucking nowhere. When I wanted to go buy comic books, I literally had to ride my bike 10 fucking miles from Corvallis, Oregon, a little town called Philomath, right, into Corvallis. Like, it was not like life fucking sucked. I mean, we had a fledgling business out in the middle of fucking nowhere where we made whatever 30 grand a year. Like life was tough, okay? This guy is not special. Again, you went to the military, which is all corn-fed poor people do. We all go into the military because it's the way that we can escape poverty, right? So this guy's story in that regard is not special. Now, going to Yale after the Marines, again, most people don't do that unless you want to go into government. It's not a very common path for a guy that's in the Marines to then go to Yale, okay? So again, maybe he is exceptional. I don't know. I just feel like the story is a little bit curated, maybe might be how I put it. So anyway, but great comment. I really appreciate the pushback, and like I said, I always entertain everyone's anyone's pushback. All right, we got Grand Imposter 3194. Much love from. Okay, cool, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate everyone being here. If you guys in the stream, hit the like button. Have a discussion. We're talking about frickin' Trump's State of the Union coming up. I talked about his cabinet. He's crying like, oh my God, people don't like my cabinet. I don't know why. Why don't people like Kristi Noem? Why don't people like Tulsi Gabbard? It's like Kristi Noem, like fucking Rambo Barbie. Like, you fucking kidding me? You remember that dumb bitch she got out in front of Fox News? She's got a flak jacket on. Her fucking, her hair's all done up in curls and shit. Like, we don't want to see that stuff when you're dealing with illegal immigrants and you're dealing with really hardcore, nasty issues. Like, we don't want to see you all dolled up looking like fucking Margot Robbie and Wolf of Wall Street. Like, get the fuck out of here. People don't like that shit. Tulsi Gabbard was literally put in there to expose what the CIA has been doing. She was literally there to point out all the crazy shit that we believe is happening. And again, now that we have the Epstein files, we understand there's something going on there, and she's done fuck all, right? You can't have that. We put these people in to do a job, and most of them aren't doing it. And I don't know why they're not doing it. They have the opportunity. If Trump would open up these Epstein files, if Tulsi Gabbard would open up what the CIA has been doing, you might have the most popular presidency that we've had in my lifetime. You might have a galvanizing of the 85 million people that voted for Trump to come back to him and say, yes, this is what we want. But he won't do it. He will not do it. And then he's fucking crying like a little girl, over, oh my God, they don't like me. I can't figure it out. Like, I got all the data right here. We're gonna go over it. So, okay, who is this? We got Rough Palm Cubist 5095. Well, you should teach Trump how tariffs work, since you still don't understand that USA companies pay for the tariffs. Okay, again, I am the US company, and yes, I pay for the tariff, right? But here's what you guys don't understand about tariffs, and I'll say this on blue in the face, guys. the companies are going to the manufacturers of said goods and are going to the actual transportation companies, right, that send all the shit from the third world into America. They're going to those people like, guess what? They're all taking a little bit of this tariff on, right? Because guess what? Like, you guys think that whatever America does, the third world just does it, right? We're just like, oh, well, please make our shit, bring it into America, make our shit, make our shit. It doesn't work that way, guys. The companies in India where I get all my hardware from, they got employees too, right? We all have to, like, as business owners, we all have to make sacrifices. How many times I've told you guys, I've mortgaged my fucking home, I've sold my supercars, whatever I had to do to keep my business going. American businesses do the same thing. Third world countries do the same thing, okay? So when we bring a 50% tariff on a good here in America, every manufacturer in America that brings in your guys' cheap shit that you just can't seem to get away from, they say, you know what? We're buying $10 million worth of product from you guys every year. We got a 50% tariff here. It's gonna crush my margins. I need you guys to eat 10% of that. Guess what? They're gonna fucking eat it because they have to employ their people as well. They have to continue to make their money, right? And then people say, oh, well, no, they don't. They'll just send their product to somewhere else, okay? They don't send their product somewhere else, guys, because the American market is not only the largest market in the world, we have the most money. How many times have I told you guys? The iPhone that you guys all have, right, sells into America for anywhere from $1,300 to $1,600. In Europe, it's $900 to $1,100. The cars. In Germany, right, the Mercedes-Benz, the BMWs, they sell for 20 to 30% less than they sell into America, okay? The handbags, you know, we talked about Germany, we're talking about India, we're talking about China, we're talking about Italy, right? These guys sell, their handbags come into America, they sell for 30 to 50% more than they sell in Europe. And we buy more of everything. So trust me, when the manufacturers in America, right, the people that have sold you guys out for the last 30 years say, hey, you know what? We got a 50% tariff. You guys need to eat 10% of this. You need to eat 15% of it. They're going to do it like that, right? They're absolutely going to do it. And it doesn't matter if they have to pay less to their employees or they just eat it themselves. Everyone is taking a chunk of this. The companies that are moving the product from India into America, those companies are also eating a tiny share of this, right? And then here's the fucked up thing, guys. And again, this is starting to come out. We're already hearing it today. What the companies do is companies like Procter & Gamble, companies like Restoration Hardware, these guys, they then say, you know what, there's a tariff, a 50% tariff on our product, we're gonna have to up our prices, okay? So what happens is they up their prices based on the tariff while they negotiate with the third world to lower the price of that tariff. So they're not losing their margin on the product that are selling into America. They're gaining margin by having these people cut their price on the back end, okay? And then here's the most fucked up thing, guys, and you saw it happen when the Supreme Court crushed Donald Trump's tariffs. They're now saying, you know what? These tariffs are null and void. You can't do this. And then 2,000 companies right now are suing the Trump administration for back tariffs, okay? Now, what this guy said is that the businesses pay the tariff, and that is 100% right. So you guys paid the higher price to the company. The company paid a lower price on the product coming in that they're being tariffed on. Guess who's going to get the refund if a refund is to come? The companies will get all that money. So they fucked you guys twice. I mean, it's insane. You're going to pay the price. You're not going to get any of that money back. The money goes to the company. The company just raised their prices, kept their margins high, negotiated with the third world, reduced their cost while keeping the prices high. And then when the tariff comes in, they're going to win on every single fucking tariff dollar that they were charged by the federal government. They're going to get a refund on that. I don't think it'll happen, but if it does, that's how it works, guys. So the American business wins 3 fucking times because you guys cannot escape this cheap third world shit. Right? They told you, oh, you're going to get cheaper prices. It's going to be awesome. You're all going to go to college. You're going to work in an office. It's going to be amazing. You're going to get cheap shit. You're going to get rich working in an office. It's going to be the American dream. Well, the American dream is being fucking crushed, guys. It's being crushed by large businesses, by academia, and all these people that are trying to get you guys addicted to cheap shit, $7 fucking t-shirts so you can buy 20, 30 t-shirts a year. Why? Why? Buy a fucking homemade, whatever, American-made, buy a fucking hemp shirt, whatever. A hemp shirt lasts forever. Like my wife, she buys Chanel shit all the time from the fucking 90s, right? That stuff looks as good today as it did back then because it's made of real fibers, real shit. Everything you guys buy, it's synthetic. Everything that comes out of the third world is synthetic. You guys don't buy real cotton. You don't buy real fucking wool. You don't use real fabrics. And it just... Anyways, sorry guys, I know how fucking tariffs work. I know exactly how this works because I got to pay these motherfuckers every time they come in. UPS or DHL, every time they come in, collects a fucking check from me every time. I got to write that check out, Here's $1,100. Here's $700. Here's $2,300. I got to write that shit out every fucking time they come in, guys. So yeah, don't even come at me on tariffs, y'all. Okay, Sam Johnson, 4014. Yes, we got the one elite as his co-partner. So, okay, I got it. Thanks, guys. Okay, Paige Martin, he hasn't. Okay. Sam Johnson says, not true. Okay, not true. 100% done business. Okay, I'm not sure what you're talking about there, Sam Johnson. But again, if you're a business owner, dude, you do import. I would love to hear another person that imports product from the third world as a business. Tell me how importing works. Tell me how tariffs work. I just love it. Again, I can't find a lot of those people, but I know they're out there. Okay, Helsk 100. Okay, not sure what you're saying there, but appreciate it. All right, Chaya 9278. Awesome channel. It's cool seeing it come together. Yeah, I appreciate that, Chaya. Yeah, and again, the channel's coming together, guys. We've just, in the last, basically in like the month of February, this channel's kind of blowing up. We get thousands of people that come into these streams. We get a lot of great content, a lot of good feedback from people, and we're learning how the economy really works from the perspective of someone who isn't a quote-unquote expert, right? Again, I tell you guys, I got a channel, I got a video I do on my channel on the YouTube, Modern Woodrunner on YouTube, where I literally just break down what the Fox News experts is talking about with small business, right? We do a deep dive into who this guy is and what he's talking about, what he's advocating for small business. And you find out the experts, they don't know anything about small business. They've never owned one. They're all MBAs, right? These are all extremely high level that only give a fuck about the bottom line. They don't understand how business actually works. The people that are advocating for small business, all they really care about is big business. And again, what small business wants and what big business wants, wildly different, guys. Yes, everyone wants fucking tax cuts. Everyone wants deregulation. But there's things that could really help small business that big business doesn't want you to have, right? So anyway, well, I'm not going to get that. But again, I appreciate China 9278. I appreciate the recognition that, yes, this channel is growing. There's a lot of cool things going on here. And this is where I think YouTube's going, guys. I think people want to hear from people that are on the street level doing the real work. They're tired of hearing from the fucking people on Fox News and CNN that are hyper palatable, right? That are playing to their sponsors. They can't say anything controversial because it'll offend someone. I think that's all changing. All right, Amanda Elise, R615C. Wrong, you are wrong. Okay, well, Amanda Elise, let me know where. Again, I say it in my streams all the time, guys. It's one thing to say, oh, you're wrong, that's wrong, this is. Okay, you got to tell me where I'm wrong. What is right? In order for people to engage and have a real conversation, you got to actually have some information. You can't just say you're wrong or you're right. Like, about what? I think it's really important. So, okay, Helsk 100. That's a huge statement you just leave without backing it up. Boomers set this up. Okay, well, so boomers set this up. So should we really want to talk about that one? Let's try and get back to that one. I'm trying to keep the stream to under an hour this morning if I can. The boomers did set this up, and I'll tell you guys why. Because the thing you're paying into, for starters, is Social Security. Social Security is literally a Ponzi scheme. Okay, if it wasn't a Ponzi scheme, then what's the word I'm looking for here? The projections on the Social Security fund, the trust fund essentially, would be that it has money to support the people that paid into it, but it doesn't, okay? The other thing that's happening with Social Security is that people are living about 20 years longer than they are when Social Security came into existence, okay? The other thing you need to know about Social Security is that when Social Security was put into existence, you had about 8 people paying, no, I take that back. You had 23 people paying into the trust fund and 1 person taking money out, okay? Today, it's 3 or 4 people paying in for every 1 person taking out, okay? So the numbers aren't working anymore. Then you couple that with the amount of age that people are living at, the amount of years that they need Social Security, right? So everyone that is on Social Security is taking Social Security longer than they initially projected for. So every time Congress says, well, we need to extend the age, again, boomers say no. Not going to happen, right? And again, I would say the same thing if I was one of them. But the truth is that the people that are paying in aren't making as much money, right? So the cost of living is so high, they have less for everything, right? So they're not upping the amount that everyone has to pay in to cover the cost for people living longer. So the numbers don't jive anymore, okay? Again, not enough people paying in, people living a lot longer than they used to get. The other thing that fucking boomers have done, which has fucked all of you people, is the healthcare. Right? So they essentially subsidize healthcare forever, right? So again, when you get the government involved with healthcare, the costs only go up, right? So again, everyone living longer, right? And Medicaid covers all those people, or excuse me, Medicare covers all those people, right? So they're, again, living a lot longer. The cost of everything has gone up significantly, yet there's no increase in the amount of money that you guys have to pay in. You guys should have to pay in about 10% of your fucking income just to cover the healthcare for boomers. Okay, but they're not going to do that. They're just going to keep printing money, which is why our government prints $2 trillion a year. This stuff is not complicated, guys. Like, as a business owner, my numbers have to jive every day of the fucking week. I can't just it's okay if I got an employee that's fucking off for a month, okay? I go out of business, right? Oh, it's okay if I pay too much for my paint, okay? I go out of business. Oh, it's okay if I don't deliver my product on time, okay? Guess what? I lose customers, I go out of business. Okay, the federal government never goes out of business. Healthcare, fucking healthcare seems to always get paid. Social Security seems to always get paid, okay? The two most expensive things about our government, next to the military and the debt that we pay, by the way, come from what the boomers need. When you're dealing with voters, the boomers are the people that go out and vote, right? Again, you're some old person that you got no problem going out and vote, okay? Why there isn't a national holiday to vote? Kind of weird, right? I mean, everybody should be able to go out and vote. They really wanted people to vote, but what they really want is they really want people that can go out and vote. And that's basically your retired old people, you know? So yeah, I think I got this one figured out, but I appreciate the comment. So there's your backing it up, Health 100. Okay, and again, if you think I'm wrong, put in the comments, tell me where I'm wrong. All right, Danny, we got Danny Boy, whoops, sorry guys. Danny Boy Ludwig, how about you should run for president? Again, one of these days, maybe I will. Maybe that's what will happen. Now I get so tired of talking about all this stuff, and I'll just close my business down and let someone else run my business and run for local office. That's a great idea. We got some people here in St. Louis that are just awful, man. Like, especially during COVID. COVID, I think, is what woke up a lot of people to the amount of authoritarianism that not only people will accept, but that the powerful can apply on people, and they'll take it. I mean, I think it really opened up people's eyes, you know. So we need more people running for office that aren't going to put up with this shit. Okay, let's see. Weblog, The Light, we blog. Good, you're back, man. I appreciate being back. 3920. Tim Burchett and Josh Hawley. Hell yeah, man. Tim Burchett is a fucking boss, man. He's a representative or a senator from the state of Tennessee. I love that guy. He's no bullshit. Excuse me. He's talking common sense. He's the guy, like yesterday, he was talking about the banning of Congress people from buying stock and trading stock, which is fucking no-brainer. But again, you guys notice that never goes through. And again, I got no problems with people trading stock. The problem is that these guys have access to information that you and I don't have. Therefore, when they play the game, they're playing the game with information that we don't have. You know, we don't have all the chess pieces that these guys have. You know, we're playing with a fucking pawn and a rook. You know, they've got the king, the queen, they've got, you know, everything. You know, so it's a real problem with what's going on there, but these guys can't pass that shit. The only thing that Congress has passed overwhelmingly and with rapid, you know, emphasis on getting it done was the Epstein Act. 427-1. Sailed right through the Senate. Yeah, like, we've never seen anything like that. And now you see what's happening with these Epstein documents. Boy, these guys don't want to fucking talk about that at all. You know, and again, we can get into that. If I get to the comments, I'll get into that. But yeah, Tim Burchett's a fucking boss. Josh Hawley's okay. I've hollered him out quite a bit on X, and again, I can't get this guy to, like, I got great plans for the housing market. Like, I could get the housing market moving in 3 months. Like, you know, I've talked about it. It's a tandem 2% plan, and again, a buyer and a seller hook up. You know, you basically get a loan. The federal government then is going to buy down that loan. So since you go from 6 to 7%, whatever the rate above prime is, you bring it down to around 4% where people need to be. So you get a person with a 3% mortgage getting willing to move, right? And then you get someone who really wants a home that can't afford that high fucking payment or that down payment to then get an opportunity to move. You get a seller and a buyer moving, right? So you're basically going to move 2 houses at the same time. It costs the American taxpayer $10,000 to make this transaction happen. But what happens is that you get people moving. You get someone who wants to move out of state. You get people who want to chase jobs. You get people buying homes. You get contractors around the housing market fixing up homes. You get contractors building homes, right? You get the big ones, Pulte, D.R. Horton, Lennar, these guys. You get them building homes because, again, they can get the tax credit for people to buy their homes, right? So, and there's caps on everything. So it's not like wealthy people can do it. It's not like the massive companies can just buy up tons of homes and rent them back out. It doesn't work like that. It's a buyer and a seller with a cap of $500,000 for the buyer and a cap of $750,000 for the seller. And again, it only costs money if it works. Right? It only costs money if there are transactions, and you get the housing market moving again, and everyone knows it. The largest industry in America is housing. And again, I say that as a furniture owner, right? A furniture business. I make furniture for people. When people are moving, my business gets better, right? But I've moved into more luxury space because the middle class people aren't fucking moving. They're not moving as much, right? The people that have the 3% mortgages, they're not moving. But as I've moved into luxury goods, my sales have continued to go up because the rich, right? The top 2-3% are still buying. They're still moving homes. They've got 3, 4, 5 homes, right? So that market is moving great. It's the little guy, the middle class guy that's fucked right now. And that's who I talk about all the time, you know? So anyway, a great comment. I love both those guys. Okay, JD does PT with troops too. You skipped over that. No, I didn't. No, I absolutely said that. JD, I'm sorry. Oh, he said JD. Again, I haven't seen that. I believe it, but I haven't seen it, you know? So again, I thank you for bringing that to my attention. I think that's great, and that's a big deal. So I won't dismiss it. All right, we belong to the light. Says JD Vance has got some serious problems. Yeah, I just think the guy's too vanilla. He's too much like the Manchurian Candidate for me. Tommy Aloha, you talk Trump, talk like an idiot. Okay, well, again, I like Trump. I voted for Trump, but I'm just literally talking to guess how fucking annoyed I am with Trump and how much he's not doing what he said he was going to do. And I'm trying to get to this where we talk to this. Let's see where we're at in the comments. God dang it, guys. I've got to get caught up. Okay. I'm going to keep going, guys. I'm going to keep going through comments, and we're going to get to the good stuff. All right, old school, 7983. If you're pushing the economy, explain how giving $40 billion to Argentina after they replace their soy farmers is a net positive. It's not. Again, I wouldn't support that. Again, as someone who comes from farm country, again, I lived in Kansas for 11 years also, again, who understands cattle ranchers and understands how the beef industry works, companies like Cargill. The issue there is that Trump is trying to promote another democracy. He wants Argentina to be the South American Israel, right? And I don't know if that's a good idea. I'm not a big fan of this, what we're doing with Israel today. I'm not a big fan of what he's doing with Argentina. He likes this Malay guy, and I like that Malay guy too, but not to the detriment of our farmers, right? So basically what happens is Trump gives all this money to Argentina to prop up their economy, which is cratering because it used to be completely socialist, and it's going to take time to work itself out. Trump wants to help those guys to keep that system going because he believes that they can be a democracy there, and it'll be good for America because we actually do like to promote democracies. But at the same time, he's buying shit tons of beef from Argentina, which hurts the cattle farmers here. One of the things that always bugged me about the whole agriculture side of things is that we put a special emphasis on corn, right? Corn is not a great nutritional calorie. Right? We subsidize these farmers year after year with crop insurance. We subsidize them with outsourcing of all the things we make here in America. And I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing anymore. I think we need to change what we subsidize in this country, but we don't need to be subsidizing other countries by allowing them to sell beef into our country, for which it hurts our farmers, you know. So anyway, old school, I think you got a great comment there. Okay, Calfax, to bad, inflation is going 2% each year, so the tax break is pointless. 100%. Yeah, again, you guys are being crushed by inflation. I've talked about I bought my first home when I was 21 years old. I made $15 an hour. I bought a fucking house, right? $100,000 home. And again, the same middle class paycheck doesn't work today, right? You have to make 30, if you make the median wage in America right now is 37, like 28 an hour. And again, people can't afford homes because you're talking 6-7% interest rates. If the average home is $428,000 in America today, that's a big freaking down payment. You know, can you guys come up with 80 grand to put down on a home? You know, I was like, I don't think you can. Most people can't. I know that I couldn't, but that's to avoid PMI, of course. But if you want to have these low down payments, you're still talking 10, 20 grand just to get a home. That's very hard to save money when the cost of everything is so expensive, you know? So again, Trump hasn't addressed these issues. He's going to say that he has, but he's done fuck all with them. And I'm going to go over why his solutions aren't working. All right, old school, 9783, you already said economics is adolescent. Okay, good. I never graduated high school, dude. I just own a business, right? I just have to operate in the real world, you know? So again, I would love to know, old school, what do you do? Tell us what you do in the comments. I want to know, and I appreciate it. Let me know what business you have and how, give me your PhD in economics. Let's see where you went to school. Okay, we belong to the light, 3920. They replaced the soybean farmers. What the hell are you talking about, man? Again, who replaced the soybean farmers? So soybean, okay, again, as someone who operates in the agricultural space, or I should say lives in the agricultural space, when you say soybean farmers, okay, what happens in most rural areas where they actually do agriculture is you have several different crops. So I find this interesting when people say soybean farmers, okay? What happens is you have to plant different kinds of crops every year. So a lot of your corn farmers, right, on the even years are going to plant corn. On the odd years, they plant soybeans, right? They plant whatever the government is going to give them fucking insurance to cover, okay? But they rotate their crops, guys. Like, is this an adolescent understanding of how agriculture works? So again, when people say soybean farmers, like a soybean farmer can't just plant the same crop year after year. These are farmers, you know? So again, I don't know that, maybe I don't understand this. keep commenting and I'll educate me, guys. Okay, let's see. Argentina is an ally that is aligned with America's ideals. We should support our allies. Again, I don't like this blanket idea of supporting our allies. Okay, we should support the people that support us, right? The people that there's some kind of usefulness, right? We have to get something, right? You're generally friends with someone because there's a benefit between the two. Maybe you share ideas, maybe you share values, maybe you share, family interests, maybe you share business interests, maybe you share, there's something that you guys share. And when we call someone an ally, we got to make sure that it's in fact an ally, right? If you have an ally that stabs you in the back, if you have an ally that hurts your citizens, they might not be an ally. And again, I'm not saying that's Argentina, I'm talking about other countries, but Argentina seems to be, there's something there, but again, I haven't researched that one to know enough about it. So I'll be completely transparent with you guys. Okay, so you're a bigot. God, this is ill-formed. Yes, I'm a bigot. Everyone's a bigot. I'm an ist, whatever you want to call me. Your guys is fucking like calling everyone racist and calling everyone a bigot. Like that shit's so dead. It's not even funny. I mean, it's again like saying words like retarded. Like we say retard all the time now. And again, we used to say all this shit back in my day, and it was perfectly acceptable. There were about 20 years where we basically academics tried to restrict what Americans could say because we would label everyone an ist, and now none of us give a fuck. Like whatever. Like I'm married to an Indian. I got 5 different nationalities, people that work for my country. Like there's no bigotry in me, but I appreciate it. Go fuck yourself. Okay. Web belongs to light. I don't have a problem with Argentina at all. We have lots of soybean farmers here. Again, that's what I think. I've got tons of them. And again, this is the thing, like if we have the stuff here in America, we don't need to bring it in from the third world. But what happens, guys, is that large businesses get involved in these industries and then they tell you guys, hey, we're gonna give you cheaper products. We're just gonna do it in the third world. And you're all like, great, that sounds awesome. The problem is that you're selling yourselves out, right? You're selling your country out. You're selling not only yourselves, but the future generations down the pike, right? It's no bueno. And we've seen it over the years as the third world has made stuff, right? We've literally built up our enemies, right? So when Trump says things like, China's becoming strong, we got to do this thing because China's going to do it. If we don't do this, China's going to do it, right? China's taking over the world. America built China up, guys. When we let China in the World Trade Organization, we literally sent all of our technology, all of our scientific data, all of our economic know-how. We sent it over there, and it's no surprise that they're now our greatest ally. And then again, one of Trump's big promises was that he was going to be hard on China. Have you guys heard Trump do anything to China? Trump was literally supposed to double the tariff on China in January of this year. He backed away. He was supposed to have 100% tariffs on China back in April of 2025. He backed off. Trump's not going to do anything. He's not going to do anything when it comes to China because he's terrified of increasing the cost of living. Like Trump has cornered himself. He's backed himself into a corner with all of his promises to get elected so that he wasn't prosecuted. And again, I think Trump should have won. I'm glad Trump won, but he promised a lot of shit and he hasn't delivered, and that's the problem. So anyway, let's go through a few more comments. Then we're going to get into the State of the Union today. And we'll talk about exactly what Trump's getting right and what he's getting wrong. Because man, he's in rough shape, guys. So okay, more comments. All right. So Docker 3159. Docker, I don't know if I've seen you before. I appreciate you being here. Okay. All Gen Z grew up in poor, broken homes. What are you talking about? Okay. Well, again, I think the thing about, again, maybe you guys will disagree with this. The thing about Gen X is we had more broken homes than I think any generation since I can remember. Right. The boomers, they all stayed married, right? The people that gave birth to the boomers, they all stayed married, right? So the boomers gave us Gen X, right? So Gen X, again, everyone got divorced. I don't know about you guys, but everyone I knew was divorced. And maybe that was just me because I was in fucking poor, outskirts of Corvallis. I don't know if that's what I didn't feel like that poor, if I'm being completely honest. But everyone had a broken home, and again, broken home, the entire anthem for the decade of the 90s was broken homes. It's like, I don't know what else to say about it. Yeah, again, I'm speaking in generalities, dude, but I think that a lot of people grew up with a mom, no dad, multiple dads in their lives. And again, I put this all in academia, if I'm being completely honest, but let's not dig into that. So again, I appreciate your comment, man. Maybe I'm wrong. So again, if you guys didn't have a broken home or you were Gen X, let me know. Put it in the comments, man. Hit the like button. Hit the like button for broken homes, because I think broken homes are okay. I grew up just fine. It sucked, but again, a little bit of struggle I think is a good thing. Okay, let's see, Lester, if you went on a diet, maybe. Okay, I'm not sure what you're saying there. Plot twist. We are aliens, man. It could be, man. What do they say that the Earth is, or no, is it the Earth or the universe is just the head of a pin, right? We're just on the head of a pin, and some alien is just moving the strings of our civilization. I don't know. Okay, Trump would rather die than the files be released. And Docker, I agree with you 100%. Again, I think Trump, there's so much nasty shit in there. Not only Trump, but our entire government. I mean, I mean, decades of our government, right? You're going to find there's a lot of nasty shit going on in Israel. You're going to find there's a lot of shit in America. You're going to find there's a lot of shit over in Europe. I mean, there's a lot of people that are, like I said, Tucker Carlson calls it the super government. I never heard this term before, but it kind of makes sense. It's basically a group of people above the elected people, you know? So I think there's something to that. Beef at 3773, the fucking Epstein files. I know, it's the fucking Epstein. I wish those things would go away. If they, I mean, I don't, those files could go away pretty quick if they would just do this one thing, and I don't know why they don't want to do it, but again, I'm with it. And transparency is the best thing. All right, with Cowboy Troy in here. What up, Troy? I'm glad to see you. Troy, let me know what state you're in, man, or if you're in another country. I'm curious. Quantum Philosophy, man, cool name. Okay, nobody thinks that way. Okay, great. Randall Cleason, 2979. I promote that you are doing, but I don't see eye to eye with you. Just remember to just put out information. We the people will decide. Again, I agree with you 100%. I'm just trying to. What I try and do is I try to put out information and give context from the perspective of someone who does a normie job. I got a business. I got 8 employees. I'm not some fucking guy working in my, trying to talk to you guys, make my business, sell you guys, cheap Chinese made shit. I'm not trying to sell you guys subscriptions. I'm not trying to, here's my sponsor, here's my sponsor, here's my sponsor. I actually have a real fucking company that makes real money, that makes real products. I don't have to do that. And so I try and give you guys the perspective of that kind of a person, because aren't you guys getting tired of all the fucking ads? Don't you guys get tired of, all the ads on Fox News for fucking boner pills and insurance, and you basically got to be 65 to relate to anything on that thing? Again, all the guys on X, do you resonate with any of their sponsors? Do you guys need another VPN ad? Do you need another Roku headphones ad? Do you need another BetterHelp ad? I don't think people want that kind of stuff. And again, the people that are talking aren't actually living in reality, guys. They're talking heads. They don't actually have to pay taxes the way that I have to pay taxes. They don't have to deal with hiring and fucking firing people. They don't have to deal with making a real, tangible product, right? And this is one of the things that I think has really, not fucked our country, but has really skewed the way people see our country, is we don't have enough people making real shit anymore, okay? Elon Musk calls this the horde of plenty, right? A lot of people think that shit just falls out of the sky. It all comes in from the third world. And I'm here to tell you guys that that's not how it works. There are people that actually make American products using American materials and American labor. And I'm here to tell you guys it's really fucking hard. But if more people did this, it would fix a lot of the problems in our country. And that's where I come from. So it's nothing, again, I don't claim to be smart. I don't claim to be an expert in anything. I'm just a small business owner who's essentially a fucking retard and somehow figured this shit out and does it day in and day out, okay? Okay, Finn Connell, are you our worded bro? Okay, not sure what you're saying there, but appreciate the comment. Quantum Lefacy, some of the business owners become too greedy and unethical. And I agree 100%. And again, if we had more small business, and I talk about this so many times, it's the consolidation of the small businesses into the large corporations that then outsource everything, that then buy the politicians, that increase the regulations in America because it makes harder for small businesses to start and compete with them. This is the system, guys. So yes, I agree that when you become really wealthy and you become a much larger entity, you're dealing with boards, you're dealing with lots of vice presidents, things like that, your company can turn very unethical. And again, I'm a very ethical company. I operate above board, which a lot of companies don't do. And it's very difficult, but it's very rewarding. And I want people to understand that you can do this. You're probably not going to get rich, but it's a good life. It's very rewarding. And guess what? Maybe you got something you can pass down to your kids. I say this all the time. Again, I can't get my kids to fucking get in my company. They're not interested, but I'm going to keep working on it, right? We got 3 kids. We're going to get these kids to get interested in our business. It's going to happen. So, okay, guys, there's so many comments. I can't possibly go through them all. If you want me to read your comment right away, do a gift, do a super chat, and I'm happy to comment right away. But I want to get into the State of the Union real quick. I tried to keep this thing to an hour. Clearly, we're going to end up going a little bit longer. So let's go over Trump's State of the Union real quick. What he's going to say he did, how great America is, and why he is failing. Right? And again, I don't know if the guy's just so old he can't see, he just smells his own farts. Like the people around him aren't telling him like, dude, you didn't fucking run on this shit. I don't know what's going on, but Trump is just, he's acting obtuse, oblivious, whatever word you want to use. He just isn't cutting it, okay? So here's the things he's supposed to talk about real quick. And again, I don't know if this resonates with people, but it's what I want to talk about today. So here we go. So we're going to talk about the economy and affordability. Okay. Now, do you guys feel like the economy is going in the right direction? Do you feel like affordability is going in the right direction? Okay. As a middle-class American, I personally do not. Right. And again, I operate in the high side of the K-shaped economy, right? Meaning I sell to the rich, affluent, and again, business is good, right? Doesn't mean that I get to make a ton of money, because guess what? I got to pay American workers. Oh, hard to make a fuck ton of money if you're paying American workers to make a real product, okay? Now, if I was just selling a digital ad, right? If I was just selling a digital product that I could make one time and then you guys could just fucking download it a million times, I'd make a ton of money. But that's not how the real world works, okay? So the economy, in my estimation, isn't doing that great. Now, what are some of the things that's got Trump in, that has Trump in trouble on this, okay? The big thing for me is going to be housing and electricity, right? Let's talk about those two issues. I think those are if Trump could solve just those two issues, he'd probably be doing okay, but he's not interested. And again, he talked a big game when he ran for president about, he said he would cut housing costs in half. Or I take it back, electricity. He said he would cut electricity in half. Like, who says that shit? That's a big aim, okay? So has Trump cut electricity costs, right? Because he wants to talk about affordability. Has Trump cut food costs, right? Has he cut housing costs, right? Again, Trump's the real estate guy. Has he done any of these things? And the answer is no, okay? And we know this. Again, I got a bunch of things here. I want to go through just a couple of them real quick. So the big one is, despite steps, electricity prices have risen in most areas. Electricity nationally is up 11%, okay? So he's failed in spectacular fashion there, okay? Yeah, so that's no bueno, right? And everything that he's done, he's basically tried to deregulate, which is good. But what he's not doing is he's not pushing to make more nuclear reactors. He's not pushing to start up and build more coal-fired furnaces. He's not doing more LNG plants. He's not actually doing the work. He's just deregulating. And the problem for Trump is that when the next president comes in, they can just wipe all that away, right? If you start building some shit today, very difficult to stop making it, right? So if you want to get power to be cheaper, we need to get more fucking power online. And again, the previous president, he was all about, you know, solar panels and fucking wind farms. And again, we got all that shit over here in the Midwest. The fucking wind turbines are everywhere here, right? And they're cool looking. Everyone always says they're unsightly. I like them, you know, but they don't do the job, guys. Like they're not gonna, you know, deal with the power situation that we have. And then you bring into the situation data centers, right? AI. Every city in America at this point is highly aware of how much energy these data centers are using, right? They are. Anyway, I'm not getting that. So point is that we're using a lot more energy. We're bringing more people in here. More people use more energy. We're not using less energy. We're only going to use more. And the government is not incentivizing the production of energy, right? Whether it's nuclear, whether it's LNG, whether it's coal, you know, whatever form of energy it is, you should be building everything. Trump's not doing that. So again, he talked about cutting prices. He hasn't done it. Okay. Now, housing. What has the guy done on housing? Okay. Housing is Trump's, again, his claim to fame is real estate, right? And maybe it's buildings, maybe it's, you know, whatever. It's housing, building, it's all in the same space, okay? He's done nothing for you guys, right? And the reason is because the only way to get housing supply down is you got two ways, all right? You can kick out all the illegal immigrants, right? Immediately get 10 people out of here, and guess what? There's a lot more houses available. There's a lot more apartments available. You could do that, right? Which he's not going to do that, which is one of the reasons he's failing, right? He's not doing what he ran on in that case, right? The other thing you can do is you can go to basic supply and demand, right? There's a lot of demand for homes, which is why prices are really high. Well, why don't you put more supply online? Again, I just talked to you guys earlier about my 2% tandem plan. Again, Trump has no plan to bring more housing supply online. And why is that? Because Trump literally said he wants the price of houses to go up because guess who his voter base is? Boomers. You know, and again, I got no problems with boomers, but again, he's protecting his voter base at the cost of you guys. He's not going to incentivize the production of homes. The federal government has done this many times. When we came back from World War II, the biggest housing boom this country has ever seen. Okay? Built fucking shit tons of homes for 2 decades. We're not doing it now. We're not trying to build homes. Again, my wife used to work for McBride, the largest home manufacturer in the state of Missouri. She trust me, we're not building homes the way we need to be building homes in this country. And if we are building homes, we're building homes for the people that are on the high side of the K-shaped economy, right? We're building luxury $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 homes. We're not building $250,000 homes. So Trump's not doing anything to help anybody on the home front. He's not trying to get interest rates down. And what people need to understand about interest rates, and again, if someone is more educated on this than I am, but from what I understand, the way that the interest rate works when you're going to buy a home, it's tied to the 10-year, right, which is this bond, okay? Now, when America is running a deficit every year, and when we're printing money every year, we start to accumulate this debt, right? We start to owe more and more and more and more and more and more, and as this thing builds, when we want to print money, we do that by issuing bonds, right? We issue those bonds, we get other people to then buy them. That allows us to then print money. There's less and less faith that America is going to pay that debt down, that America is going to balance a budget, right? That America is going to print less money, so that bond, the amount of money amount of interest we have to pay people to buy these bonds continues to go up, right? The other way, excuse me, I don't want to get that. So the 10-year, right, is the big thing. So that 10-year keeps going up, right? The amount of money that we have to pay people to convince people to buy our debt. And that is tied to your 30-year mortgage. So the 30-year mortgage is not going to come down, right? Which is why Trump beats up the Fed so much. He's always talking, Jerome Powell, Jerome Powell. And again, people don't understand that Jerome Powell is just one guy. Like, there's a whole bunch of people at the Fed that vote on these interest rates, and everyone always beats on Jerome Powell because he's the spokesman. He's one fucking guy, guys. That's it. You still have all the other people that are voting to not lower interest rates. So Trump is trying to convince you guys that just getting rid of Jerome Powell is going to bring interest rates down. Like the Fed has a ton of say over the amount of interest you're paying on a mortgage, okay? They don't. They have a little tiny bit. The big thing is the debt, guys. And again, Trump's never going to balance a budget. So again, affordability isn't going to get fixed. Electricity isn't going to fix. I'm not even going to get into insurance, which is the other massive thing, or the cost of food. We all know that we're fucked on those issues, and Trump's not going to do anything on those. Okay, so that's something that Trump's going to talk about. He's going to try and convince you guys that the economy is getting better, and that he's crushing regulation. He's getting rid of all the regulation, and we're going to get power stations, and we're going to get the cost of food down, and more people are going to start building homes. He's going to put it on everybody else. The federal government is doing nothing for you guys because, again, they're trying to protect their voter base, his voter base, the Republican voter base, which are boomers. I'm a Republican. I don't care if the cost of my home goes down so that more people can have affordable homes, okay? I want that for more people. I bought my home. I paid $550,000 for it. During COVID, it's probably worth $800,000 now. If it went back to $550,000, I'm completely okay with that. Build more fucking homes around here. I'm fine with it. But again, nobody wants homes built around them. Nobody wants, the fucking scummy middle class to be living around them. Yeah, I don't know what to. So Trump's full of shit on that one. Okay. The other thing he's going to talk about immigration. Okay. Trump's going to talk about immigration in the State of the Union, and he's going to basically say how successful he's been. He's talking about, I've deported 600,000 people, a million, 2 million, 3 million people have self-deported. He'll cite something that fucking nobody can possibly know. He's going to cite his successes on immigration. And what Trump fails to understand, and again, why people don't like his cabinet, why people don't like him, why he can't be the most popular king ever, is because he didn't do what he said he was going to do. And this is one of my big problems as a Trump supporter. He did not do mass deportations. Again, and I say it all the time, he should grab people, grab the kids out of the fucking schools if you have to, grab the moms out of the homes, grab the dads off the fucking job site, grab them out of the restaurants, the hotels, the meatpacking plants, you drag them all, you put them in fucking cages, you put them in big buildings, you do whatever you got to do to strike fear in the fucking hearts of the third world. You fucking come here, we're going to drag your ass out of here, you're not going to like it, we're going to get you the fuck out. Or you give them all amnesty. Okay? But either way, you got to do something, and Trump wants to have it both ways. He wants people to say, I can't do this. It's too difficult. I'm being pushed here. I'm being pushed there. And you can't do that. We elected you to do this thing because it's the law. The most important thing to be as an American is the rule of law. That's it. I don't care. If government wants to, again, give everyone amnesty, great, I'll support that. But until they do, Trump, drag these motherfuckers out of wherever you got to drag them out of and get them the fuck out of here. And you make it highly visible for people so that they know that when you let 2.5 million people into this country and you just opt to look the other way, there's a price for that. And this is the problem with government. There is no price for being an elected official. They just bribe you fucking people with dollars, right? If you're rich, they say, hey, look, here's some tax cuts, right? You're going to get to keep more of your money. If you're poor, here's some more Section 8 fucking food stamps. And then they pit each other against everyone. Right? The rich people, the people who own the business, they want the cheap fucking labor, right? The left, they want the fucking votes. All right, they want more people on welfare because it gives them more opportunity to basically brain fuck people for 10, 20 years and keep them here in America. Okay? This is not good. So again, Trump is losing not only his base, he's losing the people that voted for him. When he says that he got 85 million votes, I bet he did. And guess what? We voted for mass fucking deportations. Okay? We voted for the enforcement of the rule of law. These are the things we voted for. And again, Trump is losing his base. He's losing a lot of people because he's not doing what he said he was going to do. He's not doing what he campaigned on. And so he's going to talk a lot of shit about immigration, and he's dropping the ball big time. He's just not, he's not getting it done, you know? And yeah, it's no bueno, guys. And again, one more note when I was talking about the economy, Trump's going to talk about how GDP's up, okay? And I want you guys to understand that, again, as a guy that never graduated high school, I know the fucking difference between GDP, nominal GDP and real GDP, right? I know that when you have inflation, you know, it's the prices of everything goes up, therefore GDP go up, right? Now, if you look at real GDP, which takes out inflation, right? GDP is not up, guys. GDP is slowly going down. And what Trump's going to do is he's going to say, oh, we had the best GDP ever in the third quarter of 2025, right? Even though it fucking dropped to almost nothing the next quarter. He's not going to talk about that. GDP right now is like 2.2, 2.4% real GDP. So GDP is moving along, but it's not outpacing inflation, guys. So again, as an employer, I got to pay my people more and more money for the cost of living, right? If the cost of everything keeps going up, right, you have to keep giving these guys more and more raises, you know, because you got to keep your employees, right? Keeping employees is difficult. Running American business is difficult. If I wanted to make a shit ton of money, guess what? I just start outsourcing all that work to China, and then guess what? Number go up for me, baby. I make a bunch of money, you know, but I'm not hiring Americans anymore, you know? So again, Trump he's all kinds of wrong in the economy. He's all kinds of wrong in immigration. And when he cries like a little fucking bitch, he's whining, me, I don't know why people don't like me. I don't know why people don't like my cabinet. It's because, motherfucker, you're not doing what you ran on. That's all you got to do. It's not difficult, okay? Now, the other thing, let's talk about foreign policy real quick. Oh, my God. Foreign policy is the major problem that I have outside of immigration with this guy. Like, I can deal with the cost of living. Like, I can make that thing work. I can't make our foreign policy work, okay? Trump talked a lot of shit when it came to foreign policy, okay? And has this guy delivered on any of it? No. And in fact, he's really putting America in a bad fucking spot right now when it comes to our foreign policy. We have literally, two carrier groups over in Iran right now? I don't know if people know this. I don't hear a lot of talk about it. But, I mean, what are each one of those carrier groups? What, they got 5,000 people on each one of them? 6,000 people? 7,000? I'm not a military guy. But what he's doing is he's putting a whole bunch of people over in a place that America's never going to go. You and I, we're never going to go to Iran, okay? We're never going to go to Kuwait. We're never going to go to Saudi Arabia. Most of us probably aren't going to go to the UAE. Like, we're not going to any of these places, right? What the fuck are we doing there? Okay, again, Trump ran on reducing conflicts, right? Remember, I'm going to end the Ukraine war in a day. I'll get on the phone with Putin. I'll say, look here, Putin. Like, the guy's done nothing, you know? And the Israel conflict. You guys hear a lot about the Israel-Gaza conflict? Like, he'll probably say that that's over, but guess what? It's over because Israel carpet bombed the whole fucking Gaza Strip. It's all gone. Again, and they're going to put up hotels. Like, again, maybe Trump's going to talk about how they're going to rebuild Gaza and turn it into a fucking Trump resort, okay? And again, Trump's so narcissistic, he'd literally say something like that. But that's what they're talking about doing. They're going to bring this, they got this council that's going to rebuild Gaza, right? Well, they got like $10 billion so far. Again, the country that leveled the place isn't paying any money. The country that leveled the place isn't going to rebuild that place. The country that leveled Gaza isn't going to do anything about it, you know? And again, we want to dig into Trump's cabinet. We got this guy over there, Mike Huckabee. Like, this guy's not working for America. Like, I hate to tell you guys, this guy is he is a zealot for the government of Israel. And this is no bueno with me. Go watch that Tucker Carlson, Mike Huckabee interview. It's fucking scary. It's fucking scary that we got people in our government that think this way. I mean, these are religious ideologues, zealots. And we can't have those kind of people in our government. Like, there's a reason there's a separation between church and state. It's because of people like that. That guy's scary, what he wants for that region. So anyway, Trump said he's going to do all this stuff. He hasn't done anything. In fact, he's put us in more conflicts, right? So now we're talking about this major buildup in Iran. And if people think that the war in Iran is going to be like just snatching somebody out of Gaza, I'm here to tell you guys, you are wholly mistaken. Okay, these aren't even two people playing the same sport. And again, a lot of your media is going to downplay Iran's capabilities. And a lot of people are going to say, oh, we got to go in there. They're going to get nuclear weapons. Okay, I hate to tell you guys, The state of Israel has been talking about fucking Iran having nuclear weapons for like 30 or 40 years at this point. You know, they're always, you know, I'm 11 minutes away, right? That fucking great song by Youngblood, and who's the other chick, the hot singer chick? Like, they've been in this state for 30 years, guys. And again, they've been feeding us this propaganda, and boomers are just fucking waiting to go over there. Like it's like the last thing they want before they die is to go conquer Iran. It's like the last neocon thing we can possibly do. Okay, something weird is going on over that region. Again, Americans never going to go over there. Like the Middle East, for the most part, is on lock. It's fine. But for some reason, we're going to go over there and we're going to stir up more shit and potentially put more Americans in harm's way. And for what? For what? Like Trump ran on being anti-interventionist, and he's going full send right now. You know, so again, Trump's wondering why do they like my cabinet? It's like you're a bunch of war hawks. Like the military-industrial complex owns your asses. Boomers, neocon mindset owns your fucking asses. And I know I got a lot of boomers that watch this stream, and again, I got no problems with any of you guys. But if you don't at least entertain the idea that I kind of have a point on this issue, there's no getting to you, and that's fine. Like we don't have to agree on everything. I'm completely okay with that. But this idea that we're just going to go over there and we're going to go stir shit up, we're going to lay our dick out, and we're going to, hey, you know what? We're America, motherfucker. You're going to do what we want. Like I'm not okay with that. You know. Meanwhile, we just had literally a cartel attack on our neighbor to the south of us, a place we actually do $1 trillion worth of business in Mexico. You know how much business we do in Iran, guys? About 40 billion. You know, it's going to cost more fucking money to send this war over there in Iran than we'll do with the state of Israel in a decade. You know, it makes no sense. And for what? What are we doing over there? Okay. Again, Israel wants to pick fights with all of its neighbors, and neighbors want to pick fights with it. Like, good. That's between you guys. You guys figure that shit out. I want to help our neighbors to the south. I want to help our neighbors to the north. Okay. I want to help the people that we can help that are in our orbit. We don't have to be fucking with everyone all the time. Okay, I don't believe that we need to be doing that. Now, I'm not an isolationist, but again, I think the Middle East can take care of the Middle East at this point, and that's just how I see it. So again, Trump is in deep shit on this issue. Foreign policy is a fucking disaster for him, and he's going to claim, oh God, we snatched Maduro. You know, it's right. We're the people of Venezuela. They're going to have it better than ever. You know, their government's going to be better than ever. And again, it's just going to be a puppet government over there. That's all it's going to be. You know, and again. Do you guys know that Venezuela has the largest known oil reserves in the world? Like America just has this infatuation with oil. And again, oil makes the world go round. I'm not saying that it doesn't. But when we lie to the American people, Americans know that Trump is lying. They know that their cabinet is lying. And again, Trump, I don't know why they don't like, because you're fucking lying, dude. You're supposed to be the most transparent president in the history of our fucking country. We love the fact that you're like, yeah, I buy off all the politicians. You know, we love that shit. We love how open and honest he is, and on these issues, he is lying through his fucking teeth. And as a Trump supporter and someone that really likes what this guy campaigned on, I am just wildly disappointed with what we've had going on. And I said, Trump is just, he's sealing his fate, guys. He is sealing his fate. And again, they're going to lose the midterms. Trump's going to be a lame duck president, right? And they're going to do nothing but investigate this guy. Is that really what you want your government to do? Now, because we don't like Trump, now they're just going to go full send on investigating Trump and all the people in his cabinet. It's just going to be nothing but fucking more of this fighting back and forth while you guys pay more for houses, you pay more for electricity, you pay more for insurance, right? Fucking inflation is just going to keep moving because guess what? Every time we don't pay the debt, guys, we don't work on balancing a budget, the bills only get higher. You know, I don't know what this guy thinks he's doing. And as a Trump supporter, I just can't wrap my head around this guy's way of thinking. Like, does he think that he's such a megalomaniac that everything he does would be great if everyone just get out of his fucking way? Like, that's not how it works in America. It's just not how it works here. You know, so I don't know what this guy's doing. I can't figure him out. He's just all over the place. He can't focus on anything. He talks America first. He's clearly Israel first, right? And again, that's the only country that I see him like really moving towards helping. Again, Americans need help. The federal government can actually do a lot, but they're doing little. They're doing next to nothing. And all they're going to do is deregulate, which again, the next time another president comes in, they just wipe all that shit clean. Government passes nothing. Congress isn't codifying anything that Doge did. Congress isn't codifying anything that these executive orders are doing. So they'll all just get washed away. And this is the seesaw that I'm talking about. It's just nothing but seesaw, guys. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And Trump was supposed to break some of that, and he just hasn't. You know, so anyway, that's all I'm going to say about the stuff today, guys. Let's go through comments. And again, just wildly frustrated with Trump, wildly frustrated with what he's doing. And if the guy would just do what he said he was going to do when he ran for president, he'd probably be considered an amazing president. Again, a lot of the country will fucking hate him, but that's what America's trying to do, you know? And then when you get people like Nick Fuentes saying, don't fucking vote for this guy, don't vote for any Republican, what they're doing is they're trying to get away from the seesaw effect. We're hoping that if we go full Democrat for whatever, a decade, that things will get so bad that Americans will then elect basically a strong-arm Republican, which is kind of what we wanted in Trump. But he hasn't. He started to pander, and he's got wishy-washy and everything. And so we're just going to go right back to solar panels and fucking wind farms, you know, and tons of you know, assistance for the poor, right? We're going to give out lots of Section 8, lots of SNAP, you know, let's just pay everyone to have tons of babies, right? Let's make a bunch of fucking poor people. And I don't know where it goes, guys. Like, I don't know where the fuck the situation goes. If not Trump, who? You know, J.D. Vance, you think fucking J.D. Vance is going to do anything that Trump hasn't done? Like, you're fucking crazy, guys. So anyway, let's end it here. I'm going to talk, let's go through comments, guys. Let's spend some time going through comments, see what you guys got to say about this thing. And again, I appreciate everyone that's hanging out. My name's Eric Wilk, and I own the Splendid Crow. We're a small furniture company. We do about 500 pieces a year. We got about 8 employees. It's a small 7-figure business, and we've grown this thing from a 1.5 car garage up the street into 15,000 square feet. It's a great little middle-class living. I think it's a fantastic American story. I grew up in a fucking double wide. My wife grew up in India, and we made this shit work, and it's fucking awesome, and I want more people to be able to do it. So, okay, business, we got, let's see where we're at in the comments here. God damn, guys. I appreciate you guys throwing the comments in here. I'm going to go halfway. And again, you guys want your comment read right away, just hit the super chat or the gift, and we'll point you guys out. So, all right, Jimmy Jam. Is soybeans bad for testosterone? Soybeans are bad for testosterone because soy actually has a lot of estrogen in it, which is maybe why the Chinese are so short. I don't know. Is that racist? I don't know. I don't know what the deal is there. Something about that. Again, I fucking hate soybeans. I don't understand the like for these kind of things. I tried to buy soy protein cookies, like fucking tasted like ass. Like, again, when people say, oh, they taste amazing, this is so good. I don't know what you guys have been brainwashed eating, man. Fucking soybeans. Disgusting. Okay, Randall Klassen, 2979. Yes, you are an adolescent on farming. Okay, cool. Well, Randall, tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me what I'm missing, because like I said, I'm open to anything. I know that I'm not intelligent. I know that I'm not I don't have a PhD in economics. But again, I talk about the economists all the time and how wrong they are about small business. And again, when I point out that, oh yeah, the economists, they've never owned small businesses, they don't actually understand what it takes to employ a person in America versus employing someone in the third world. These guys are all kinds of wrong, right? So, okay, we got Bubba Luzi in here. Good to see you, dude. Okay, my family grows corn every year. Yeah! We rotate yield from active to inactive. You are an idiot. Okay, tell me what you mean by active to inactive, because what we do here in Illinois, because I literally am surrounded by farms, they rotate their crops every year. They go from corn to soybeans every year, like without fail. I've been here for 7 years at this point. So I've never heard the term active to inactive. So does this basically mean that you grow one crop 1 year and then you don't grow anything next year? Again, as a farm is technically a business owner, I don't know how the economics of that works. So you're gonna have to explain that to me. Again, I've never claimed to be an expert, guys. And that's one of the things I think we like about this channel is I actually look to the people in the comments to educate me on things, and then we bat it around. I think it's a great thing. I love being wrong. So again, no shade to you, man. Great comment. Thank you. Okay, there's an equivalent exchange between U.S. and Argentina. It is neo-Israel in a southern hemisphere. Yeah, that's kind of what I see. But again, I'm not super educated on Argentina. I'm learning a lot more about Israel and the history of them. And again, when I saw that Mike Huckabee interview, I was just like, it was almost like a break glass in case of emergency kind of a situation. And then you couple that with what we're reading about in the Epstein files, and it's like, man, this doesn't look good, you know? So, all right, we belong to the light. We belong 3920. Yeah, I know. Randall Carson, thanks again. Okay. We belong to light 3920. Yeah, I think we'd be grown up around in Missouri, you would know. And again, maybe, but again, it's just, like I said, I literally live in farm country. Like, we live on, it's a really cool area, guys. So we live literally on the Mississippi River. There's these big bluffs that overlook the Mississippi River. It goes for about 10 or 12 miles. They're well known. If you just Google most beautiful places in Illinois, it'll pop right up as probably number 1 or 2. And basically you have a whole bunch of homes that overlook the Mississippi, and literally the coal barges go up and down the Mississippi, powering all the power stations. A lot of coal-powered power plants around here. And behind all the homes on the bluffs are farmland, because it's super rich in soil. Illinois is known for having one of the largest agriculture agricultural producers in America because of the soil that we have here, because of how the Mississippi River carved its way through America, right? So it's kind of interesting. But I just know I have a lot of farms. I watch what they do every year, and it's fascinating to me. So okay, Truth Junkie. Words like racist, bigot, Nazi haven't meant, yeah, they don't mean jack shit anymore. Truth Junkie, you're 100% right. We're so tired of being called Nazi and being called, racist or sexist or like, go fuck yourselves, guys. Like, that shit's over. And again, anyone that calls you guys trying to use it, like, tell them to go fuck themselves. Like, we're just done with it. Like, thanks, academia. There's another thing you pushed on us. I loved going to all the sexual harassment training that I had to go to when I worked in corporate America. All the implicit bias training that I had to go to. Like, go fuck yourselves, HR. You guys are disgusting. All right, the canceled will inherit the earth. This is Charlotte. I don't know what Charlotte Fang is, but yeah, maybe. We'll see what happens. Okay, Jammy Jam Jam, pleb is my referred insult to the modern age. I know there's so many funny names. Like I listen to like the young people talk, and I can't even like some of the I heard this word called mud shark the other day, which I guess is that a chick that likes to fuck black guys? Like it's like the words that people use today are just they're just new. I don't understand a lot of them. There's but yeah, like trad wife. Like I didn't know what trad was. I'm learning all kinds of new stuff now that I'm online a little bit more. Okay, I'm a sneak GG. Oh yeah, they haven't stolen anything. Okay, love the Christmas story. Yeah, me too. It's an official lamp. It's amazing. It's got the fishnet and everything. Came in a crate. It's pretty cool, man. My mom got it for me a long time ago, and I love it. Okay, I'm Gen X. Been married 10 years. Hell yeah, dude. Mark Travis, I'm Gen X too. I've been married 3 times. I think I've been married almost 8 years with this one. So hopefully I think this one's going to go the distance. Okay, see, we got Cap Crunch, 7838. This is what happens when women get the right to vote. Yeah, and again, that's what's that, the 19th Amendment, the 14th Amendment? I'm not, super educated on that, but I'm one of those people. Like, I think that we let women in the workplace wasn't necessarily a bad thing, but we do have to kind of respect that there are differences between the sexes, and I think academia tried to blend that. I think that we've been warped for about 20 years into thinking that men and women are kind of the same. This is why these people like to push the idea that men can be women, women can be men, and all these kind of things. When you go on any of these websites, they'll ask you what your pronouns are. Like, there's such a fucking thing. Like, that's all academia, guys. And again, women are much more empathetic than men. Men are much more apt to say, you know what, you fucking did it to yourself. Go fuck yourselves. Women are more prone to being like, yeah, you did it, but, we should help. And, yeah, you did it. I know he's been arrested 43 times, and this time, he got choked out by a Marine, but, maybe we should, turn the other cheek. We're better than. There's a lot of that happens, and that's a major problem, But again, I'm not going to say that women should be in the workforce. Maybe they should be CEO, though. But I don't know. I don't have enough information on that one. Again, I'm married to a chick who's a boss bitch, and she's amazing. So there are plenty of women that can do this. Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx, is a female CEO, female founder of a business, and she's fucking rock star. I love that chick. But what I will say about women in the workplace, and especially women that are founders or create products and services, things like that, they generally create products and services for women, whereas men create products and services for anybody because we want money from everybody. Women want money from other women. They want admiration and acceptance from other women. Men, we just want it all, and believe it or not, that's a better attitude to have, So anyway, I'll leave it at that. And the funny thing about it is, like, I sell a product for women, believe it or not. So if you guys go on the resplendentcrow.com, you'll see that all my furniture, beautiful greens, beautiful oranges, beautiful reds, blues, whites. We sell a beautiful high gloss lacquered product, the kind of furniture you can see your face in. And again, 95% of my customers are chicks, so do with that what you will. Okay, Truth Junkie, we had nothing back in the 70s, but we were happy. Yeah, and again, I think it's all relative, 70s was a tough time for a lot of people, but y'all did okay, y'all did just fine. Mark Travis 4381. I went from 200 pounds to over. Man, good for you. Anyone that can do that, anyone that and again, Mark Travis, my guess is that you probably just started eating a little bit differently, but more importantly, you started moving more, right? Probably lifted some weights. A lot of people don't understand this, that they think that cardio is the only thing to do. And again, I'm an ultra marathon runner, so I can speak to this. Muscle's way more important than people realize. Having more muscle on your body means that your body consumes more calories on a daily basis to sustain that muscle. So whenever someone loses a lot of weight, I mean, you got to really really give them kudos, because it's very difficult to do. It's very difficult to go from being a very large person and moving a lot to then being a smaller person and moving a lot. It takes a lot of willpower to do that. So you know what can do that is very impressive. Mark Travis, good for you, dude. Very proud of you. And again, tell me how long you've been doing that. I'm curious how long it took you to lose that weight. So a lot of people don't understand that when you lose weight, especially if you're heavier, you lose a lot of weight actually very quickly. The hard part is getting going, right? The hard part is then keeping that going, because what happens is you lose a ton of weight in that first 3 to 6 months, and then the next 3 to 6 months, it's harder to lose that weight. You don't see the gains that you were seeing previously, and so you get a little bit demoralized. So anyway, very cool. Let's see, Cowboy Baby Yoda. Oh, you're back in here. Good to see you, dude. Okay, 6725, like the end of the Man in the Black movie. I don't know what the Black movie is. Mark Travis, Trump is not Reagan. Again, I don't think Trump is Reagan. He could have been, but he's not. Okay. Randall Cleason, 2979. Reality marriages are outdated and have been derated. I'm really Gen X and grew up in parents that yelled at each other every other night. Yeah, I know. I kind of had a little bit of that. But again, I didn't have both parents. So usually mom was dating someone. Okay, herbs and animals are real life. Oh, you're back in here. You were in here the other day. Thanks, herbs. I'm glad you're back here. Okay, and again, you were the guy that talked about hemp, if I remember correctly. So again, you put the same kind of stuff in there. So good for you. All right. 13 families control it all. I've heard this before, Mark Travis. I know what you're talking about. Okay, Cowboy Baby Yoda. Is there real multiple streams or something? Is there like multiple streams or something? Okay, not sure what you're saying there, dude. All right, Mark, I don't watch the news. Good for you, Mark. Y'all talked to the guy raised in the 60s in Detroit. Hell yeah, man. Detroit, Rock City. Detroit's a town that, man, you guys got fucked. Detroit just, like, after the great financial crisis of 07, 08, and from what I understand, Detroit was absolutely decimated. But it's making a comeback. Like, I think that Detroit is actually, they're revitalizing downtown there, and there's a lot of housing developments there, from what I understand. I listened to this guy on YouTube, I forget his name, the black guy, and does a lot of commentary on finance and current events. He's Antoine, I think his name, Antone, something like that. Great dude. I mean, fascinating guy to listen to, and entertaining, charismatic, and all this kind of stuff. And again, if anything, I want to be like that guy, you know. But very cool. So all right, so manufacturers, okay. Trump egg. What's the we're gonna go through comments. We're gonna find some good comments. How many genders are there? Again, there's only 2 genders, guys. James Smith. Can a man get pregnant? No, a man cannot get pregnant. Okay, let's do this, but a C-section because they're not capable of delivering. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on there. Brian McGrady, he is deporting and disappearing immigrants. Okay, well, he needs to do more of it. And again, he needs to make sure it's very public, and that's just kind of how I see it. All right, looking for more good comments here. Psychedelics are keys to some other places. You'll know that I've ever tried the DMT or even saliva. There's something else there, certainly. Yeah, I did. So I did mushrooms a couple of times, and the thing about mushrooms is the active ingredient in that is called psilocybin. And the first time I ever did mushrooms was fucking amazing. Like, oh my God, I loved it. And the kaleidoscoping, and you could like smell the moisture in the air, and the trees would move in this like really, I don't know, like otherworldly kind of way. And yeah, you start thinking like, oh my God, like I'm not seeing everything when I'm on psilocybin. Like you literally like you have like a third eye or something, and you start seeing more things out there. So I think that's why people think that there's more to what's going on when they do these drugs. Fucking awesome, but you can't do it again. Like I've tried it like 3 or 4 times, and again, nothing was like the first time. The second time I did it, it was almost nothing. I just get like super clammy, and your vision's just all fucked up, and your thoughts are kind of different, but you don't get all the cool smells and the visions, and then it just got worse and worse and worse from there. So I stopped with them. I never tried DMT or ayahuasca or that other stuff. Just no interest. But the first time was fucking amazing. Like I'll just say it, man. It was pretty cool. Okay, Pezanavade 916. Trump just named Kevin Morris as nominee to replace Powell as Fed chair. Kevin Morris, son-in-law of Marta Lauder, billionaire. Oh yeah, heir to the Estee Lauder fortune. Okay, yeah. But again, this guy is just the head of the Fed, guys. It's just one guy. Like I think there's what, like nine people in the Fed, if I'm not mistaken. It's 9 or 12. I believe it's 9 though. And again, the chair is just the voice, right? So he's only one vote. And I don't know that enough people understand this. He's not any more influential than any of the other Fed chairs, right? There, one of them's Austin Goolsby is one of them. I forget all the names. There's a bunch of them though. Okay, Nicodemus says, "Oh, oy vey, oy vey." Okay, we got a Nick Fuentes watcher in here. Oy vey, Trump is the greatest supporter of Israel. Okay, Jews rock. All right, man. Yeah, Jews are good people. I got a lot of Jewish customers, and like I said, the thing that I see with like the people that are in my orbit that are Jewish, and what I see with the Israeli government, these are two like wildly different things. And you can't put the two together because they're completely different. I don't hear enough people saying that. That's why I never talk shit on Jewish people. Jewish people are awesome. Just there's something about this government over there that has a lot of sway over America, and I don't know why that is. I can't quite figure it out. The Epstein files seem to help kind of fill in the holes in that picture, but man, I don't know. Okay, I had a customer a couple of months ago that had one of those leg lampshades. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it is cool. I think it's completely official. It's a good lamp. All right, the Artman 2023. Okay, see, maybe he cannot do it. And again, yeah, maybe you're talking about Trump. I don't know. Credit Watch previously served at the Fed and was instrumental in big bailouts of banks in 2000. Yeah, the 2008 bank bailouts, guys. And again, I'm not an economist, right? I'm just some dumb guy that owns a business. If you guys understand what happened in 2008, you guys all paid for large, massive corporations in the insurance space and in the automotive space to essentially get bailed out, right? And while that is on the surface, it seems like a good thing. What happens in industry, like as we've looked at the last, say, 40 years, what's happened is you haven't had a lot of turnover, guys. And then if you look at what the Fed has done since the 2008 specifically, is they will not let another depression happen. They will not let downturns in the economy happen. The Fed immediately races in, prints a shit ton of money, starts buying assets, and starts handing out checks to people, whether that's businesses, corporations, or citizens. And that has led to a massive amount of debt. That has led to massive inflation. And when you don't let these businesses fail, you don't get new businesses, guys. You don't get new ideas. And this is one of the reasons that your guys' economy is stagnant. When Trump talks about how great the economy is, it's not that great. When Trump talks about all the innovation and how great things have been, the innovation, guys, like when you guys bring an MBA onto a company, right? The MBA's greatest claim to fame is that they figured out how to make your balance sheet look better, right? Your EBITDA statement look better. And what they predominantly do is they outsource things to the third world. They cut costs. You know, one of the fastest way to cut costs is to, if you can't get rid of regulation, it's to go to a place where there is less regulation, right? Go to a place where you can get cheaper employees. You know, that's how you increase. The other thing you could do is you could increase the value of your brand, right? And I like to use Apple as an example for this. Everyone talks about Apple being the greatest company that's ever existed. What Apple hasn't done is it hasn't created new products, right? It hasn't created new innovations. Ever since the iProducts came out, they've created nothing, right? They're living on their legacy, and the only reason that Apple's able to do what it's able to do today is because they started manufacturing everything starting in 2001 in China. And again, think about the businesses that we have in here in America today, okay? When Trump put those tariffs in, how many reports did you guys see of, oh my God, Apple's gonna move operations from China, where the biggest tariffs were initially, to India, okay? These corporations, again, Nike, the same thing. These corporations can move their entire operations anywhere they want throughout the third world, but they can't move them back to America because it's so expensive to operate here, you know, because of the regulations that we have here, right? Because their operations have become so massive, they can't operate in an environment where there's no competition. Because the minute you bring that stuff back to America, the price of a tennis shoe goes up to $400, right? And then guess what? More people start making shoes, because what happens is competition always chases margin. And again, I'm a dumb guy. I've never fucking graduated high school, and I can figure this out, you know? So again, hard for you to start a company here in America when all your product is made over in the third world. The competition is already there, making shit dirt cheap. When you want to do it here in America, guess what? It's very difficult to do. There isn't the technology here in America. There isn't the resources to do the thing that you want to do because it's all been farmed out to the third world. So it's very easy to understand this stuff, guys. So anyway, we're at 93 minutes, guys. I think I've given you guys enough at this point. I appreciate all your comments. Let's go through the last couple of comments here. I'll give you guys, let's read 5 more comments. And I appreciate everyone hanging out this morning. This is a big topic. State of the Union is coming up. Again, watch Trump tonight. Watch how great he tries to talk up his economy, and see if he talks about things that I talked about in the stream today. See if he's talking about, you know, what he's actually doing to get the cost of housing down, what he's actually doing to get the cost of insurance, electricity, what he's actually getting that stuff to go down, how he's going to make this country America first, right? How he's going to do this thing that he keeps talking about when he's fomenting wars in the Middle East, right? When he's snatching leaders, you know, out of Venezuela. When he's talking shit about Greenland. Another thing about Greenland, guys, they always talk about rare earths, you know, and China's rare earths. You guys know that America is has one of the largest reserves of rare earths in the world. Like, go look it up. We used to farm rare earths in California forever, but again, got too expensive because you can't fucking mine in this country, right? We don't want to till up the country to extract the resources that we have here because it doesn't look good, right? In a place like California where you got tons of academics, right? All these people that know how, they want clean air, clean drinking water, they want safe business practices, they want lots of OSHA, lots of EPA. You can't fucking do anything in those places, which is why it's prohibitively expensive to operate there. So the businesses send the work to the third world. Why would you try to operate in America when you can't? Okay, and again, as a small business owner, I have to deal with this shit all day long. I own a fucking paint company, guys. You know how hard it is to paint furniture, especially lacquer, which has the most amount of VOCs of any fucking product that's out there. It rivals lead-based paint from the 70s, for Christ's sakes. Like, very difficult. So I can't even do my operations in California. They wouldn't let me do it. So anyway, let's go to the last couple comments. We'll get out of here. Okay, we got, this is Joshua Delani. Delani, I hope that's your name, man. I love when people put their real names on here. Okay, we have freedom of religion, and we should have rights, so let's just live by whoever we want or not. No, I agree with you, man. That's one great thing about America is you guys can do what you want for the most part. Okay, I met a chick on that shot once a week to lose weight. I tried my best to be friends with her and just couldn't do it. She's always too sick. Are you talking about Ozempic? Again, I know lots of people are on Ozempic. Like, Ozempic is like, that's kind of disgusting, but Ozempic is going to become the new way that people lose weight. Like, we refuse to exercise in this country. I can't fucking wrap my head around. Like, do you guys know that if you exercise, it makes your heart stronger? Ozempic doesn't make your heart stronger, right? Statins don't make your blood pump better through your body, right? By making your heart stronger and your vessels larger. It just thins your blood, I don't understand why we in America don't exercise more. I can't figure it out. This is, all right, we got Nikki L sent a gift here. Nikki, appreciate it. Love the gift. And yeah, I can't wrap my head around why we don't promote stronger hearts, stronger vessels, stronger capillaries. Like, you guys want to know why COVID was such a bad thing, right? It's because we got so many fucking sick people in this country. We got so many people that don't move. If you guys look into the science of mitochondria, right, and you look into how oxygen moves through the body, people that are distance runners, people that take care of their hearts, have strong vessels, saw very little effect from COVID, right? The truth is, if you're a sedentary person, you didn't have a strong heart, you didn't have strong vessels, capillaries, all these kind of things, you were highly susceptible. And if you didn't have a good immune system, right, which sick people don't, right? People that don't take care of themselves don't have great immune systems, highly susceptible to all those things. But again, we got a drug for everything. The simplest solution, make heroes again. Okay, and I'll end with this. I can go through more comments, but I want to end with this, guys. America needs more heroes, right? America needs people that we aspire to be like. You guys notice, like, we don't really have movie stars anymore. Even musicians, we don't all like the same musicians anymore. We don't at least have musicians that we all agree are amazing. There's just, everyone kind of has their own thing. Therefore, nobody can agree on anything. We don't have any politicians that people can really get behind. It's super tribal. We don't have people, again, I use the analogy of the example of Arnold Schwarzenegger. I remember this very young, seeing fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger, the motherfucking Terminator, like seeing that guy up there doing jumping jacks, right? And he's doing, curls with people, and he's got people doing sit-ups, and he's out there with little kids. Like, that's big shit, guys. Like, I still remember that to this day. And that's one of the things that, again, like, I've exercised my entire life. I've always taken care of myself. My mom was a big part of me getting into exercise and taking care of myself, right? When I was a workaholic in aerospace, working 70, 80 hours a week for decades, my mom said, you know what? I want you to come run with me. I'm going to take you to the nicest marathon in the world, Napa Valley. It was like 2014 or something like that. It's the Napa Valley half marathon. Like, you're just running through the hills of beautiful wine country, fucking gorgeous out there in California. And again, I've ran ever since. So we need heroes, whether that's parents, whether that's athletes, whether that's actors, whether that's politicians, whether that's people like Elon Musk. Like, we need people that we can get behind that are actively doing good things and promoting good things for our people. And exercise, eating well, these kind of things, these are all great things. So I think that's what we need more of. It bothers me that, again, everyone's so tribal. Even athletes, like, it's always a fight against who's the best athlete, and people just can't all agree that, no, this person's awesome. And then what happened to the athletes promoting good things to the youth, right? Again, if Arnold Schwarzenegger can do it, an actor, right, later became governor, a wildly successful individual, You know, where's Tom Cruise? Like, we all like Tom Cruise. Why doesn't he do some of that shit? You know, where's LeBron James? You know, where's LeBron James hooking up with Obama, you know, talking about exercising? Maybe once a month, they're doing a national fucking exercising event. You know, where's Elon Musk? Not that Elon Musk is a good example of being fit, but again, where are the heroes? You know, so anyway, I'm gonna leave on that one. You guys have a great day. It's Tuesday. You know, I got a new CNC, right? So that came in yesterday, so I got to work on putting that together. I got to run a bunch of power in my shop, so you guys see content about that. I put together that serpentine dresser that I've been talking to you guys about. I'm going to do a live stream on how I polish more brass, right? I'll do a live stream on building the jigs to make the drawer fronts for that serpentine dresser. We got a lot of cool fun stuff going up. So you guys have a great day, and we'll chat later.